I've been challenged by some of my colleagues involved with the literary festival to do a shelfie where I film my bookshelves and show you the sort of books that I read. So it seems appropriate I start off with pretty much the first novels that I would have ever read as a young teenager, which are the James Bond books. I have there all the Ian Fleming Bond books, and then after that the one that was written by Kingsley Amis under the name Robert Markham. And then there are some film adaptations that are of varying quality, and also a non-Bond book that Fleming wrote called The Diamond Smugglers. He mostly wrote Bond novels. He wrote one or two others, including Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which probably everyone knows. And then on the other side of the bookshelf, then we have the John Gardner Bond novels. He wrote tons of them, and then Raymond Benson took over, and they're his. And then more recently, Sebastian Faulks has done one, and Jeffrey Deaver did a very good one. I've just read as an ebook the most recent one, which was by William Boyd, but I don't yet own that one. I'm a little bit of a book hoarder, as you might see in a moment. I've also got some James Patterson novels. I quite enjoy the Alex Cross series. I know that they are very, very popular, critically mixed reviews perhaps, but I enjoy them. A load of classics, well, some classics here. These are ones that, to be honest, I saw once quite cheap and I thought they made me look clever, so I bought a few of them. We've got Bleak House, The Odyssey, Moby Dick, and War and Peace, which I may well read one day, you never know. And move down to the next shelf. Now, these are books I've only started collecting relatively recently, but these are all of the Saint books by Leslie Charteris. Following on from my obsession with Bond, I started looking into the work of other Bond actors and discovered Roger Moore's 60s series, The Saint, and then realised that that there were loads and loads of things to do with The Saint, including a whole set of novels, loads of them, that Leslie Charteris wrote. Starting with the very first one, The Saint Meets the Tiger, which in fact was one that he wasn't very proud of and is not published very often. All the others are often reprinted, but that one isn't. That one, I gather, is worth about £35, whereas the rest of them probably worth about 35 pence. There you go. And then starting there with Vendetta of the Saint, that was one that was written by someone else but had his name on them. And then the ones underneath the A-Team mug are ones that again were written by other people, predominantly for the TV series Return of the Saint, but they put Leslie Charteris's name on them to sell better. And then more recently I got into Ian Rankin and really enjoy his Rebus novels, and most of them are here, including the more recent ones, although I've read the most recent Rankin novel, which is Saints of the Shadow Bible, but I don't actually have it. I think I got it as an ebook, or maybe, no, it might have been an audiobook. Quite enjoy those as well. And then a little bit of a geek, so I've got some Star Trek novels. Sherlock Holmes there as well. I've read every Sherlock Holmes story, quite enjoyed those. And then a couple of other sort of random books as well. Some books I've been given. Some of these are by people who've been guests on my show, which I always like it when we have an author and they bring a book in. Not all of them think to do that, to bring in the book that they're promoting, but some do, including Lee Russell, who brought in her book Stop Dead. She's actually appearing at the Literary Festival. And then quite recently, Dave Weaver came onto my show, and Japanese Daisy Chain is his most recent novel. And then on the bottom of this shelf, we have, I suppose, what are they, like coffee, would you call them? Coffee table books? Anyway, some books predominantly about the Bond films. There's some other things there, a couple of Saint books, a book about the Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Batman, an Eagle Annual, if you can see that there, it's quite dark, but yeah, there's an Eagle Annual, and then a couple of other books as well. Now, I was going to try and pause my video at this point because my other bookshelf is in the hallway, but I'm not sure how to do that, so I'm going to quickly move through. Excuse the mess, they're all DVDs there, so don't worry about that too much. But down here, I have another bookshelf. And the top shelf here are predominantly biographies, so various actors and actresses or other such things, and their biographies or autobiographies. I'm really hoping now as I scan down this that there's not anything too dodgy or embarrassing. I think I'm safe. But various books. I try to keep them in order. I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to that. So this shelf was supposed to be all biographies or autobiographies, but then I needed somewhere to put a couple of books at the end. So I had to kind of compromise my own values there. And then some technical books of various things about how to DJ, one about how to play a game, how to program a website, how to lose weight. That one's worked for me, clearly. How to be a stand-up comedian for 5 minutes. I thought I'd give that a try before I gave up. And maps and things, some audio books, a couple of graphic novels there. What else do we have? Some books that to do with, well, they help me out on the radio, various bits and pieces that can make interesting features sometimes. A load of books about how to drive, even though I can't, that someone gave me once, I think just to inspire me. And we come down a bit further and we have some religious books. I am a Christian, and I do sometimes read books around the faith as much as reading the Bible. I don't read that as often as I should. I hope my minister's not listening, never mind. Some poetry books as well. I'm actually in one of those. I once wrote a poem and it got published. So yeah, so this is pretty much my sort of shelf of religious books. And then, because again I had to compromise on space and things, so I've tacked on the end there the Lord of the Rings books, which I'm part way through one of them, but I've seen the films, so it's probably covered it, hasn't it? Not really the sort of thing to say if you're organising a literary festival. And then some graphic novels, because I do quite like those, particularly Batman. That's my that's my sort of real weakness. And in fact, I think all of my graphic novels are Batman or Batman related ones, which is this shelf here. And they are in a kind of a chronological order. But yeah, I don't know why I quite like Batman. I suppose it's the fact that he's a hero who has no superpowers, so it's purely down to his own skills and abilities, and I suppose that makes me think that that could be any one of us, that we have a potential. Also, having squillions of pounds in a Batcave helps. And then on the bottom shelf here are Tom Clancy novels. Tom Clancy's another author that I quite enjoyed, and these are all of his Jack Ryan novels. Unfortunately, Tom Clancy died, so I think that there's one I haven't got here, but again I think I read it as an ebook, but one day, just to make my shelves complete, I will buy that one as well. Hope you've enjoyed this, if you've lasted through all 8 minutes and 4 seconds.